week's video is on functional power. This is a principle that I learned 20 plus years ago. It dramatically changed my ability to generate power while striking. Doesn't matter if you're throwing a kick, a punch, an elbow, or what the technique is, the principle is universal. So if you're looking to generate more functional power, check it out. Okay, so this video is on functional power. I'm sure all of you understand the basis for power. The more muscle tissue we can bring into play, the better the technique is going to be in terms of power. If I can incorporate the lower extremities and I can drive through the feet and the legs, I'm going to get more power. If I learn how to pivot and open up my hip when I kick, I can generate more power. So they're all techniques that you can learn to develop power. A principle and a concept that sort of changed my whole view of power that I learned 20, 25 years ago is the difference between impact and impulse. I'm going to show you now using a 3-inch punch just to demonstrate the principle, the difference between impact and impulse, and how this can immediately change your game in terms of functional power. So Eric's going to hold the focus mitt right against his chest. Again, just a little 3-inch punch. And we push him back. Same distance here. He can feel the difference between that second shot and the first shot. The first shot, was that painful at all? No. So the first shot pushed him off camera. It looks cool, but it's more of a parlor trick. So impulse, the moment you make impact, then when you add time over that, that gives you impulse. So essentially that first technique that I did the 3-inch punch with, I pushed him. My whole goal is to transmit kinetic energy into soft tissue and bone. That's what we're trying to do when we're striking. That second technique, where I only had 3 inches and I hit him fast and retracted it, he feels that through the pad into his trunk. That is the use of impact. That is the major difference between impulse and impact. When I'm teaching and we have kicking shields out, if we're working on spinning back kicks, if we're working on side kicks, a lot of the guys, like my son, will get focused on trying to kick that shield so hard they can push their opponent back 5, 6 feet. That is not our goal. For one, we're in a hyper-offensive system. We want to strike you as many times as we can. If I push you away, I've got to chase you down, I've got to enter again and begin striking. The idea is to be able to generate a tremendous amount of power, but leave it in the shield, leave it into the body. So if you throw a hard snapping side kick or spinning back kick, those kicks that don't push that guy back, but they're thrown quickly and retracted immediately, they generate a tremendous amount of power. The guy holding the shield can tell you whether it's impact or impulse. He can feel that power right through the shield. So I'm telling you, this is a dramatic improvement in your power if you start implementing these principles. We go into the gym, working on the heavy bag. A guy comes up next to me, throws a downward chopping side kick on the tie bag, and you just hear a loud thoof. And that bag doesn't move. He delivered all that kinetic energy directly into the bag. I have another guy in our gym, he's a great kicker, loves to throw a lot of spinning kicks, and when he hits the heavy bag, that bag swings all over the gym. Gets a lot of attention because it looks like the guy is just killing it. But in reality, he's pushing that bag. I would take those kicks all day long over the guy that came up and drove that tie kick directly into the bag. And that's the kick that you're going to actually absorb all of that energy from. So I can't recommend enough to experiment with impact and impulse. You want to stay relaxed through the movement. At the moment of contact, you're going to create a little bit of tension and retract immediately. A bullwhip is a perfect example of impulse. If I took a bullwhip and just hit Eric over the head with it, it's not going to hurt him. It's going to aggravate him, but it's not going to hurt him. If I crack that bullwhip, at the moment that whip snaps, that's where your high level of force is at. Punching, kicking, elbowing, throwing knees, it's the exact same principle. If I headbutt a guy, I need to snap it and get it in and out as quickly as possible so that I can transmit that energy directly into my target. So I hope that makes sense. Until next week, train hard, train smart, train for a lifetime.